Good evening. Today is July 8th, 2021. This is the monthly meeting for the ASCA Board of Directors. Um, the If you have not listened to these recordings in the past, the way we do this, we go down the agenda, and for each item, if there is a motion, we can go ahead and entertain the motion and discuss it. Every director has a chance to speak as we go around, and then we vote for the motions. So the first item on the agenda today is last month's email business.
I move to approve last month's email business. Denise?
I'll second, Gina.
All right, there's a motion on the floor by Denise, seconded by Gina, to approve last month's email business. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, so the next item is the technology and computer system update. Gina?
Okay, so I will start with the web portal. It's kind of in a way tied into the database migration because everything has to be categorized and stuff. And so during this, they found some security problems with the web portal, and it was brought to Inventive, and Inventive worked on some patches. As they were doing that, they found additional problems, and so that's what's caused the delay. They have now pushed all the patches into staging, and Ray today was testing. I'm not sure if he got through all of it, but some of what he tested, he did push back to Inventive because they found some problems. So Inventive will work on that and then send it back to the business office for testing, and at that point it should come online. I don't think everything will be functional, but you know, a good part of the data that our membership wants to see should be able to be seen. And if there's any problems or any situations, you know, call Ray, because Ray needs to know and he needs to relay that to Inventive. And so because of this, the web portal problems, the database migration has been somewhat delayed. They have started some design work. Monday, they will be working on creating, you know, the plan and categorizing data. There's 3 categories that it has to be gone into, either business office admin, personal, or public. So all that data has to be categorized. They'll be identifying the high-level deliverables, and basically the project will start, and it'll be a weekly update from then on. So that's about all I have.
Okay, any further discussion here or any questions for Gina? All right, thanks, Gina.
You bet.
All right, so the next item on the agenda is a junior committee recommendation, and that will be Denise will present it.
Okay, I am in an area with not great reception on my phone, so if you can't hear it, please let me know. The junior committee would like to recommend to the board to consider the option of a junior by 2021 and junior levels. The question of whether we want to allow that to happen.
Hey Denise, you're breaking up. I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Denise, we can't hear you very well. I think you're gonna have to start from the top.
Okay. Let me see if I can change phones and call back in. Can I do that? You guys go ahead to something else.
Wherever you're in right now, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Don't move.
So okay. The junior committee would like to ask the board to allow the aged out juniors who missed the 2020 finals to be able to compete in the 2021 finals. This is six juniors apparently, and so they would like to have that option to invite those 6 people who were old enough that they cannot show in juniors anymore, but they haven't shown in finals for the last year. So that was what they would like to know. That's their first recommendation.
Okay, so they would like to invite the 6 juniors that aged out last year.
Yes.
Okay.
To compete in the 21 finals.
Is that to be just part of 2021 finals just add them to the group, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess the thing to do would be to just go around and see where we're at with that. So, Gina?
Well, to be honest, with all this computer stuff going on, I haven't had time to really think about it. I kind of thought that we had put all the 2020 problems behind us, but you know, I think I'll listen to what everybody has to say and make a decision then. Thank you.
Okay. Jen?
Oh, well, I'm a big component, do everything for juniors we possibly can. However, we might be opening a can of worms for the other programs. And we have made a decision that we were moving on. And my other thought would be that they were in a separate class, not against some of the younger kids that have been competing all year. But I'm more than willing to listen to everybody else's thoughts and see what their views are. Thank you.
Okay. Jean?
Well, I kind of thought that as a whole, the board had decided that as unfortunate as it was that 2020, there was no way to do a redo. My concern would be, what if one of these aged out juniors actually won against one of the younger people, like Jan said, which, I'm sure that there would be cries of, that's not fair, so I just, I don't know that I can support this, but I'll listen to what people say. Thanks.
Thanks, Jean. Judy?
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that I'm really sorry that this has happened to them, but we agreed that nobody was going to have a 2020 finals. We can't, I realize it's only 6 kids, but again, you open a whole can of worms for every other program who has said, we want to do 2 finals. I'm sorry that, it's a bad situation, but kids have to learn life is not always fair also. And I would rather not see it. I would not like to see a 19-year-old competing against, a 15-year-old, that sort of thing, because some of these kids may be at that age already. So my vote is no. I will not support this. Thank you.
Thanks, Judy. Rick?
Yeah, I kind of feel like everybody else, although I love the juniors. I love the junior program. I love judging the juniors. The kids are our future. But, we're just opening a can of worms when we single out one program and not do the same for everybody else. We're just singling out one group, and we cannot. I guarantee you, if we were to allow this, we'll be bombarded with complaints. Well, you let them, but you didn't let us. It's not fair. We deserve it just as much as they do. So you're just opening that can of worms, and I just do not believe that at this time we need to be consistent, and it's in the best interest of ASCA. Let's just move on and let's get through this. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Well, I'm I've always been, ever since we had to do this last year, I've been very sad for the juniors because it's not quite the same as the rest of the finalists, in other, in that particular experience again. And so it is sad, but I do agree that if we did this, we're probably going to hear it from everybody else, and even some of the current juniors, will probably be perhaps upset that we are allowing these 6 juniors to compete in the 2021 junior showmanship competition. So it's very sad, but I don't think at this point we have any other recourse but keep it as it is. And it looks like the majority of the board is in agreement. So I'm not sure if we need any more. You guys want this?
Hello.
A motion wouldn't even be seconded at this point. Doesn't look like. So let's stop. Well, I guess I guess Denise you'll have to let the junior committee know that the board doesn't really agree with making this change to what we originally agreed to last year. You want to say anything else, or?
Sorry,
we
my
have
phone
to
was
motion?
cutting out.
Is there a motion?
Did you want me to make a motion?
If you want to, but I'm not sure that it would even be seconded.
Okay,
I mean,
then we can just
and vote on it because it's a motion from the junior committee.
well, that's the thing. I'm not being able to get onto all my information here on the computer, so
Sorry.
I wasn't sure whether it was an actual motion or she was just bringing it up.
So there are 2
No, it was an
recommendations
actual
from
motion
the
submitted
committee,
by the junior committee.
but Denise could just withdraw it if she felt like there wasn't enough support on the board.
I think maybe that would be a better thing to do, is to withdraw the motion because there was not support from the board. And that was previously the case also.
Right. Okay, so that's your wish then, to withdraw?
Yes.
Okay. So here it says something. There were 2. Was there something else from the committee?
Yes, there is a second motion that the junior committee would like to have, and that is that all junior handlers who competed in at least one open level junior handling class during the 2020-2021 merit year and have earned at least 1 point against competition from the open classes be eligible to compete for finals this year. Usually there's more, that's the motion. Usually they have a, they're saying that as long as they've competed once and achieved 1 point to compete for finals, because of the lack of shows available this year, that they'd be able to compete in finals with just 1 point just for this year.
Okay, so I have a question. Again, I can't get to the information from here, but are the junior finals not quite well filled, or are there not enough juniors that qualify?
Well, I think the point was that the point, and I hate to say this, but I don't know, I don't even know what the qualification point number is that they have to have. But the feeling is that there are not enough shows for the kids to have been able to go to this year, that many of them may have qualified previously, could not have qualified this year because of the lack of shows, and therefore making it more equitable for more kids to be able to compete in the finals by just lowering it down, just having 1 point.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and go around just the same way we did with the last one, and have a discussion about it. So this is an actual motion that you have forwarded. So
I can read the statement from the committee if you'd like.
that would be helpful, because as I said, I don't have.
Okay, did you want me to read it?
Please.
The Junior Committee acknowledges the ongoing pandemic has resulted in a reduced number of opportunities to qualify for junior finals. We recognize the need to uniformly across programs during this confusing time. We also recognize other programs' finals eligibility is different. The other merit finals programs invite the top 30 qualified dogs regardless of the merit points earned, whereas junior handling finals have a mandatory minimum point qualification. This minimum point qualification directly affects the number of junior handling finalist qualifiers, resulting from the reduced number of shows. The loss of opportunities to compete for merit points is out of the junior handler's control. Therefore, the junior committee makes the motion to change the 2021 junior handling eligibility finals eligibility requirement. So that is what it is.
Okay, then, all right. So I guess I'm gonna go around then and let the directors express their feelings and opinions about this. Although I do wish that the committee would have forwarded this, much earlier than, now we're into July already. But
remember, they submitted the 2 motions together last month,
right?
And they needed to separate it out.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and go around. So, Gina.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if we allowed a reduction of qualifications for other disciplines, like obedience and Raleigh and those. I really don't have a problem with this as long as the 2020 juniors aren't competing, as long as they're competing in the 21 year. But I would like to kind of research a little bit more what we've done for other programs. If anybody can remember, I appreciate it. That's all I have.
I don't know if I'm wrong, and Cal can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we lower the the qualifications for any of the others, but the others don't have minimum points. Or at least most of the others. I mean, the point qualification is not the same, but anyway, I don't know if that's the case, Carla. I don't remember. Did we do anything?
I think you're correct. I can't recall anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't think we did anything to reduce anybody else's. But okay, so Jan.
I believe we discussed that maybe juniors were the only ones that might be affected by this because of their minimum requirements, stock, rally, obedience, confirmation. It's how you rank in the whatever number they're taking. So again, I'm for promoting juniors and being out there. And this was a hardship. I know some of the juniors in our area were traveling, trying to get those points, and worked hard to try to achieve those goals. And I would be in favor of moving forward with this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Jean?
Yeah, you know, I mean, stock does have a minimum qualifying with it, but it's only 4 points, which is, you know, it's very minimal, really. I feel like if the committee felt like this was something that needed to be addressed, I can support that. I don't know how the office is going to determine who these people are, because usually these reports are canned reports and they're already programmed to look for that certain amount of points. So, and I didn't see that as part of the thing, the OneDrive, as far as how the office was going to find these people. I mean, I could go either way on this, as long as it doesn't negatively affect the office, I guess, would be my only caveat to that. Thank you.
Judy?
Yeah, there's, and for reference, Agility has its own junior division for finals, and they must meet the same minimum point requirements as everybody else. So they didn't recommend decreasing points, so more juniors could come. I also have a problem with this motion did not ask the office. There's nothing in there. We're already past the date, and by the time this is done, they're going to have to figure out how to do this and get that stuff out and back by the 15th, unless the juniors have a different date. I'm not sure about that. Don't have a junior. But again, the motion didn't address that, and we wouldn't even accept motions from other committees where they haven't checked with the office or they don't have a plan to do this. And I hate to be a curmudgeon, but I'm not sure that all of this can be done. I appreciate them trying to do something, but it should have been thought of a very long time ago so that we could iron this out and make sure that the juniors could be contacted. You know, it's by the time we get them contacted, they may have already decided not to go to nationals because they're not in junior finals. So my vote is probably going to be a no on this for all of those reasons.
Yeah, thanks, Judy. Rick?
I guess my feeling is, once again, we're making an exception for a unfortunate year. To be consistent with everybody else, I guess the reasoning is there wasn't enough shows, or they didn't have the opportunity. The same people could say that about confirmation finals. Well, I didn't make the finals because there wasn't enough shows. Once again, I feel like we ought to be consistent, and we need to move on from this year. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. Thank you.
Thanks,
Liz?
Rick. Yes.
I texted Andrea about asking Ray, and she said that the points are available on the website to see how many points that the kids have throughout the year. So as long as on the last on the website they have at least 1 point, they would be eligible.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure that I'm completely against doing this, but I am worried about the timing, and I'm worried about, I mean, I don't know what Ray's opinion is on this. I think that personally, I can't say yes without having input from the office on this, because it's so late already. And I don't know how this is going to affect the timing for ordering ribbons and all of that. So I think that I can't say yes to this motion without having input from the office.
I also have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Denise, at the bottom of this motion, it says, in addition to both of these motions, we would like to add that all juniors who qualified for both junior finals, 2019 to 2020 and 2021 merit years, and enter the 2021 junior finals be held this year at nationals, could have their finals ribbons presented instead of being mailed. Is that a motion, a third motion, or is that part of this motion?
No, I think that she was just adding that as a, I mean, I just read that myself, that she's putting that in there as the fact that they don't have to be mailed. But I think those juniors that were in finals the last year, they already have their ribbons if they were in finals that had to be mailed.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, but as long as it's not part of this motion.
No, I don't believe it's part of the motion. I think it's just for your information.
Okay.
Liz, this is Carol. I'm sorry I'm getting on late. I was in North Idaho and I had no service. But I just wanted to let you know I was here.
Okay, Carol, do you have an opinion on this motion? Do you know, have you read the motion for the union?
Yeah, I heard the motion. So I am in favor of supporting the juniors if it sounds like what Denise said, that, you know, if you got 1 point, it's listed in the merit standings. And so my concern would be, I would need to have Ray's blessing, I guess, because it is late in the game. But how many juniors would actually show up for it if we didn't allow a combination of the 2 years? And so and there are some juniors that are going to age out. And the only concern I would have would be, I think if juniors have moved from the junior category into like professional handling, then they probably should not get to attend the junior finals this year. But since they're taking a 2-year span, but other than that, I mean, I think it's great that we could support this. I wish it would have happened a little sooner so that it wasn't kind of at the end of the game. But that's all I have.
Okay, so the motion is on the floor, and I guess if Denise decides to leave it as is and not withdraw it, we'll just go ahead and vote on it as it is right now.
It sounded to me like most people were not in favor of it because it was not equivalent to the rest of the programs. But if you want to go for it, we can see if there's a second.
It's not my call. It's your call because you made the motion. It's whether you want to vote to go forward, or whether you would like to withdraw it?
Let's go ahead and vote for it. Vote then.
Okay.
Let's maintain the motion.
All right.
This is Jan. I'll second the motion.
We don't need a
Okay.
second. This is
Yeah,
coming from the liaison and the program committee.
Yeah. So, so we have this motion on the floor to allow these other juniors to qualify for finals. Any further discussion? Okay, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Was that 3?
Carol, I voted in favor.
Jan.
Okay, so
Denise.
Carol, Jan, and Denise. Okay. Any opposed?
Gina,
Judy?
Jean,
Rick,
Any abstentions? Okay, motion does not carry. All right. So let's go on to the next item in the agenda, which is the Funner Park. So Denise.
Okay, the updated version of the contract from Fauner Park in Nebraska to ASCA for the 24 and 25 national specialty, 2024-2025 national specialty in Nebraska, was sent back to, after our discussions, was sent back to Fauner Park with an additional few suggestions and requests from David, our attorney, that was listed as a section 44 on the back. I mean, not on the back, but as at the end of the contract. They added that to the contract. So as far as I could tell, they have offered every bit that we have asked for, and that I would request that this board approve this and approve the signatures on this contract so we can file it with them and move forward.
if that's a motion, I'll second it.
That's a motion.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the contract for Funner Park for 24-25, and I'm gonna go around. So Gina.
Yeah, I'm all for trying this location. I think they have bent over backwards. And I mean, personally, I think if I was dealing with all the stuff that we've been sending to them, I'd say, forget it. You guys aren't worth it. But they are really going out of their way to make us welcome and to make this work for us. So I have a very good feeling about this location, and I'd like to see us try it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. John?
I didn't see any notes in our box about my 2 questions, but one, it looks like they have changed the health requirement to being a health certificate, and for all the dogs coming onto site. So that's still not what we're used to of just having rabies with us. And the second item is I see no references to mats or setup.
I can answer those questions for you, Jan. The dog requirement is just that they have their rabies certificate with them, as well as their, I don't think it does not have to be a health certificate, just certificate of vaccinations and rabies, and that if there is any occurrence, that the owner of the dogs has that on their person, that will be available there. And then the other part, it is in there. I specifically talked to Diane just this week, because she's been on vacation as well, about the contract listing the mats and the setup of all the arenas. and the dirt setup, and she said yes, it is all included, and it specifically says that on one of the parts of it. I don't know.
Can you find that in this contract, please?
Well, on the
before
appendix,
it was in the appendix, but it's not there now. So unless I'm missing it, that's all I'm asking is I want to make sure it's in writing.
Well,
I'm wondering, is it in Schedule A, which I'm not sure if it's attached, but it says for services, material, and or personal set forth in Schedule A. What shall pay any additional costs?
Well, that's where it was listed. It was all listed in that section, and I even did a search on the document and couldn't find Matt.
Well, I know that I talked to her about that like 3 days ago, and I know that it is approved for that.
It needs to be in the contract.
Well, it'll be okay. Well, I'll just have. I'm sorry, I don't have that right here with me in Montana, and let's see. I forwarded her a separate contract, also from.
I found it. Jan, if you look in Schedule A, item, where'd it go? Item D, stage, round tables, chairs, and rubber mats included.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the dirt, the other. If that is substantial for, I mean, it could be a lot of rubber mats.
What do you mean a lot of rubber mats?
It says this right here. This is on a contract to Diane Willie at Fauner Park that was sent to her. Now and this is I did forward this to her, and she's in agreement. So it's probably an oversight of hers, but this says this proposal includes the setup, the tear down, the janitorial, the dirt work, and the rental of all buildings. This includes sound, security, and disposal trash.
Yep, I saw that. It's
so
the setup isn't very clear. I'm just making sure.
It's also in that contract about the health. It's not a health certificate. It says under D, as to the health requirements, dogs brought by attendees to the event alternatively may have on the dog or the attendee's possession a certification of current rabies and Bordetella vaccinations from a U.S. licensed doctor of veterinary medicine. And then it has for other animals a single verification of meeting any Nebraska vaccination requirements be used for the flock or herd. So they don't have to have a health certificate, but they do have to have rabies and Bordetella.
So are the mats included in that Schedule A that Gina?
Yes, the mats are included in that.
Yes.
And I can talk to her again and have her write something very specific. I mean, I have spoken to them. We talked about it when we were there at Fauner Park, and so I spoke to Bill about it. Then he reiterated it to the Diane also again, and she is in agreement with that. She understands it. We've talked about it. So I'll have her just write something separate up. But we need to get this contract signed. It's a verbal agreement at very least. So.
But I don't understand if the contract says it includes mats, then what is the problem? I guess I'm not.
It does. It says number
D.
4D. 4D. Stage, round tables, chairs, and rubber mats included.
But it doesn't have the setup of the arenas. It has
I
the
have
tear
that on
down,
the-
the cleanup, the power, the speaker, I could be missing it. I'm trying to make sure because these are going to be big expenditures. The mats are a big deal.
Are you guys looking or what?
Yes, ma'am, we are looking.
Yeah, I know I saw it in there before, and I'm pretty sure that they, it's.
Well, also, having been there and gone through this, we were assured over and over and over, and they would point out the one ring was being set up for a goat show. And he pointed out how deep the dirt was, and just asked us the general questions. Is that what you're going to need? How much do you want? You just have to tell us what dirt and where to put it, and they will set it up. And we heard that over and over. If it missed being in this contract, I get it, but I know it was in the other contract.
That's true. I know it was in the other one too.
Well, if he wants to just redo the addendum and just add another little letter saying that, I don't think it's necessary, but.
I just wonder if it's up here in number 1, where it says subject to all the terms and conditions, blah, blah. Note, after the site visit on June 9th, 2021, it's been determined that some scheduled events may be relocated on completion of the site layout for said event.
Right.
And it may be possible that we have a slight decrease or increase in the facility rate based on what it looks like we're going to use. Following any event that
I think it's pretty standard in fairground leases that they will do this, but they can always add an N to the addendum and say, the setup is included.
In number 32, it says that this lease may be modified at any time upon written agreement signed by the lessor and lessee. So we can just write up something that we want to be sure that is stated in there and have them sign that, and it will be included.
Right.
I know that has been.
Well, we can do it so that, it is included in there before I ever signed it, because I don't want to sign everything that doesn't have everything included.
I think it'd be pretty easy.
I can't really see the contract.
It's just so. On this previous contract that I have, it's one sentence, so that can easily be copied over to Diane, have her add it to that, and have her send you a modified contract before you sign it.
Exactly.
She'll probably have it to you tomorrow.
Where is it in your other contract, Denise?
It's right on the cover letter that the original cover letter that was sent. Was an original, and then it was sent. Then this other regular facility sublease agreement went on. So that is actually on the cover letter, but so I don't know if it's why it's not in there. They also said on this cover letter that the Fauner Park has agreed to work with us on the RV camper area. So that was because of the conversation on the fact that we do our camping reservations so that we know because we do the parking of it also. So he said that would be fine. So we could just have him put that on there, and she'll probably have it in the morning. We just need to get this done.
Yeah.
We know it's there. It's just a matter of clarification.
All right. Well, I'll continue to go around so that we can, come to some kind of conclusion here about what we're gonna do. All right. So I think that Jan had gone, and I think Jean is next.
I don't really have anything to add. I'm ready to move forward with this tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Judy.
Same as what Jean said. I'm ready to move forward with this.
Okay. Thanks, Rick.
I know. I think y'all all feel like I'm a Debbie Downer on this site, in which I'm not. I'm truly not. I think it'd be a wonderful place to go to. But I do have an issue. Let me find it. It's I believe it's. Let me see where. It is 44G in reference to the $45,000 grant. If you read that closely, they have left theirself an out if and when something was to happen and that grant was not available, they can get out of it. They've left themselves an out.
That
Even
44 number is from our attorney to them.
And
Well, we
it
would be
says
out
that
too.
we get to cancel. It says we get to cancel if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, so in 2023, we come around and we find out that they're not going to do that, then we have no site unless we're going to pay their $85,000. Then it's too late to get a site. I
Never too late.
understand Denise said that they had the money in account set for us.
That is true.
But
Rick,
my issue is they've left theirself an out.
no,
And as long
Rick,
as that out is in there, I will not vote for it. That's just my opinion.
It's all right.
I'd rather have it in there than, I would rather have it in there than if they don't come up with the 45 and we still have to pay the contract of 85.
that
This
number
is
G was
ASCA's out.
submitted. That number G was submitted by David to them. That was David requesting that out, not them.
Okay. And my opinion, that's bad business for ASCA. We're leaving them an out. That if something happens and that grant goes away in 2023, or maybe we have it for 2024, but it goes away in 2025, we have no choice but to take their site for $85,000 or go find another site. They're saying yes, they'll let us out of the contract. That is just my opinion. To me, I don't care if David said it, I don't care if Chuck said it, that is bad business by ASCA.
It means that we're not going to be tied into 85,000.
And I understand that, but we also will not have a site.
But we do have a contract from Brad, the guy from the Commerce, on that 45,000 for 2024 and 25.
Then
We already
Fauner
we already
ought to put it in their contract and take that G out.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that we can do that because this is Fauna Park's contract.
I don't think we can get it
And the
out because.
That
Okay,
was
so
an addition by David, and
hold on.
To say.
Hold on. All contracts are going to have an out for the site, but we didn't have an out for us. So David added G because he thought that we needed to have an out if something happens, including the fact that they will take the grant away. Okay? So I don't think that we can take it out. So we're just gonna have to, vote as it is. Now, Denise, just to make sure, okay, we do have a separate contract that is for the grant, correct?
As far as I know, we do. Yeah, we had that. He contacted. They said that there are 2 letters from Brad, and they come from the. It's not Fauna Park. It's from the Commerce person. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is that
We
something
also
the
have
board
live video of him
see?
too. What's that?
Is that something the board could see?
I don't have it with me. No.
Well,
I can get it, I'm sure, but I mean I can call him and have him send it, but I don't have it with me.
well, I understand, and to me personally, I don't understand why we're in such a hurry to get this done tonight that Jan has questions, I have questions, and we can't get answers to those questions before we vote to move on with this.
Well,
Don't get me wrong, I love the site. I think it'll be wonderful.
I
I
thought
think
Jan's
those
questions were
questions have been
answered.
answered. They've been answered before,
Yeah,
Rick.
Dan's questions were answered.
Over and over.
Okay, y'all do what you want. I'm voting no. Thank you.
all right. So at any rate, we do have the motion on the floor. And if I guess I'm going to ask if we have any further discussion. Anything to add?
I will add that I will contact Brad by email or phone call tomorrow, and I will ask him to forward the copies of the letter of the approval of the grant to Calla, and she can distribute them to the board. Also, I will ask Diane for to put that in a different section of the contract for the approval of the dirt, inclusion of dirt, and the setup and tear down of the arenas. That way, those are the only 2 questions that we have that I know of, and I will call and try to get those sent tomorrow.
Okay. So I just have to make it clear that I, as president, have to sign this contract, and so therefore, I'm not going to sign it until we get those things.
Right.
I mean, so if I vote yes tonight, I'm doing it, pending having those sent to us, because otherwise,
Right. Add that to the motion then.
John Hancock, it's not going on it.
Add that to the motion.
It has to be
Can
in the
we
contract.
do this as an emergency motion after we receive the contract?
No, we've been through this so much.
We need a complete contract that has all the information in it.
Denise has a cover letter with that information in it, and everything else has been answered.
The problem is there's going to be different people managing, and the contract is going to be the binding document, not a piece of paper, not what somebody says. What is written in this contract is going to be the important information. And I can't, if we vote tonight, it will be a no because I don't feel we have a finished contract. Thank you.
All right. Well, the motion is still on the floor, so I need a decision about, Denise made the motion, so whatever, if she wants the motion to stay on the floor, then I'm going to go ahead and call for a vote.
Can you have Carla read the motion back again, including the what she added to it?
To encourage us to hope that we will receive a grant from Grand Island Hall County Convention
You're breaking up again, Denise.
and visit.
You're breaking up, Denise. Carla, do you have that motion?
Yeah, I do. What I have written down from Denise is that there's a motion by Krillman to approve the agreement with Funner Park to host the 2024 and 2025 Nationals. She will ask Brad to forward copies of the letter of approval for the grant to me to distribute to the board, and ask Diane to put in the addendum of the contract information about the dirt setup and teardown, dirt arena setup and teardown. And I think that was everything.
Okay, so in the event-specific information here, can you hear me? I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, the dates are October for 24 and for 2025. That's in section 2. At the bottom of section 43, it says that that includes the grant for $45,000, and that is for both years because this contract is for both years.
So it is in the contract that we have a grant.
Yeah, you can't see it because you don't have it, I guess. But if everybody else,
It is in the contract, but it says that if we, it says that
number 2,
it doesn't hold, just like Rick said, it says there's a reference to the grant, but if the grant's not awarded, then we have the choice of canceling.
She's talking
Just
about
like
a
Rick
different
said.
section.
no, look at number 43, not 43. The lessor has represented to the lessee, that's us, to encourage us to use this facility that will receive a grant for the approximate values is $45,000.
Lisa agrees to use reasonable efforts to assess lessee in obtaining this grant. So it's not a guarantee.
Oh, so okay, so we still have to get the letter from him. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
he told us.
That's the same wording that was on the previous one. So
Yeah.
We need, like I said, we need
Yeah.
the letter. Not the letter, but a legally binding document that says that they are giving us these grants for the 2 years. Okay, and we need a sentence that makes sure that everything is included in there. All the setup and all that.
Okay, that's what the motion says, pending the receipt of those documents.
Right. All right. So there is a motion on the floor. It is not being withdrawn, so we have to go ahead and vote on it. So, any further discussion? Okay, I'm going to call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye. Gina?
Aye.
Aye,
Jean.
Any opposed?
Jan,
Aye.
because we're
No.
missing documentation.
Rick, for the same reason.
Any abstentions? The motion is gonna carry. All right, so Denise, if you can get those documents
Okay,
to us.
I did not get who voted which way on that motion. I only heard from Judy, Gina, Jean,
Oh, okay.
Rick, and Jan. So I need everybody else to speak up with what their vote was.
My vote
Denise,
was
This is
yes.
Carol. This is Carol. I voted no for
Okay,
because we don't have the documents.
yeah. So you got 3 no's and the rest yes. All right. So we're gonna get those documents. I guess Denise, you're gonna ask them to send those to us as soon as possible because, as I said, I'm not signing and
No, I
having.
totally understand, and I agree, and I voted pending
So,
you having this information.
right. All right. Okay. Thank you. And thanks for all the work because really this has been like a lot of work for you and thank you so much for your efforts.
No problem.
And I
All right.
appreciate your
They're great people to deal with.
I agree. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Judy, were you guys and Jen when you went to the facility? Thank you.
Right. Okay. So next items 7 and 8 are all related to budget increase requests for the 2021 nationals. Rick.
Yes. The first one Laura sent to me was they've had a request to upgrade the qualifying ribbons from a straight flat to a rosette head on a flat. They felt like it was just going to upgrade and make the competitors happy. It's an actual $660 increase to the budget. And the National Advisory Committee would like us to entertain that motion to approve the added expense for the upgraded qualifying ribbons.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go around to get everybody's thoughts on this, and I guess for this amount, I'm not sure that we need a motion, but let's go around and see what everybody thinks. Carol.
I would be in favor of the increase to have the rosettes.
Okay, Denise.
Absolutely. The exhibitors probably will not even take a flat ribbon.
Okay, I can't hear you, Denise. I'm assuming you said you were in agreement. Am I the only one not hearing, or?
No, I
I
can't hear
can't hear
either.
either. No, thank you.
I can hear now.
Denise?
What's that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat whether you're in favor or not of this increase?
Yes, I'm in favor. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I just lost you there for a minute. Okay,
My
Jan?
phone is bad. I'm sorry.
Gina?
Yeah, I'm in favor of it.
Jan?
I'm in favor. That's what the members have been receiving from the affiliates. So I think we should continue that. Thank you.
Jean?
I'm in favor of that. I'm assuming when they say qualifying ribbons, that's for nationals across the board. Is that right? Anybody?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
Thanks, because I can't get my thing to open. I appreciate it.
Okay, Judy?
Well, I'm going to be the naysayer here. I'm going to say no. We've never given rosettes out at nationals. And just because affiliates are not following the ribbon matrix, why do we have to change and now go in the hole? Because this will put us in the hole since we were given a budget where we weren't making money anyway. Now we're going in the hole. And if we approve the increases in the next section, we're going to go in the hole even deeper. I don't understand why we need to go in the hole because affiliates aren't following the rules. What about making them follow the rules rather than us spending more money? So I'm a no.
All right. This is Jean. I'm with Judy. This is Jean. I've changed. I'm with Judy. Thanks.
Okay.
I just want to
Go ahead,
make sure
Rick.
everybody's clear. It's not an actual rosette. It has a rosette head on a flat ribbon. So it's a little bit different. It's a more simplified or upgraded flat. Just
All
so
right, but
everybody.
my other thing is then we would need to change the rules and the matrix to allow for that. And we haven't done that. So I'm still a no.
Yeah, the cost.
I understand,
Okay.
and there's others coming.
Right. So there is no consensus then here, Rick, on allowing for this.
So
I'm sorry.
we just make a motion and vote then.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to. I mean, Rick, it's up to Rick whether he wants to present a motion or not.
Sure, I'm following the wishes of the NAC, which I'm the liaison of. I move to approve the $660 expenditure expense for upgrading national qualifying flats to a qualifying ribbon with a rosette head on a flat. It is a $660 increase to the budget.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor.
I'll second the motion. This is Carol.
I don't think it needs a second.
No.
It's from the committee.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
We have a motion on the floor by Rick to approve an increase on 2021 national specialty budget to for of $660 for a modified qualifying ribbon with rosette head. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
No, this is Jean.
Judy, no.
Any abstentions?
Rick abstains.
Okay, I believe motion carries. All right. So the next ones, do you want to explain those two, Rick?
Yeah. Right now, for all of our judges, we have a mileage reimbursement rate of 14 cents per mile if a judge is driving. Due to the rising cost of fuel, the National Advisory Committee would like to put this out for discussion to raise it sorry, I'm actually reading it right now to see what They had
Okay. There are several options, although
there are,
yeah.
one is the national average, which is 56 cents a mile, which that is, they felt was a little unreasonable. The other one was to pay actual gas receipts. That way they are actually being reimbursed for actual fuel gas used. And the other one, trying to see, I believe it was well, I'm not seeing it, but there was one for an increase from 14. Do you see it, Calla?
No, sorry, I have to go look.
Well, I believe it's one was the business rate of 56 cents, one was the nonprofit rate of 14 cents, and the other was medical and moving was 16 cents. So I think we just need to go around and discuss if you think you guys feel like the 14 cents is still fair for a judge that's driving for reimbursement of gas and fuel, or do you think we ought to go with a different rate?
Okay, so I'll go ahead and go around. Carol?
Well, considering we do have this increase in price in fuel right now, and I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, I guess it could go down, but I'm not really thinking it's going to. I would certainly think that we should at least reimburse the expense, whatever the fuel expense is. I do think 56 cents a mile probably is going to be a little high. So I guess I would lean toward reimbursing the fuel receipts so that it's not out-of-pocket expense for any of the judges we get. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Denise?
I would be in favor of paying the actual gas expense up to, and I would put a cap on it that meets the not to exceed what their airfare would be. I forget how their wording is. It has to be at least 30 days out or something like that.
What has to be 30 days out?
When I think on the judge's contract that it says that the airplane tickets have to be made at least 30 days out away from, ahead of time so that they get a better rate. But, and I don't know who's doing that. I don't know if the committee has a travel agent that's looking at those right now and trying to book for those people to get an idea. But I do think there needs to be a cap on the amount of money that they're paying for gas. That it would be not more than the airfare is approved for.
Right. Isn't that the way that they do for the board?
Yes.
Right.
So for the board, the directors get paid if they drive. They get paid for a certain amount up to the amount of an airfare.
Right.
Right. But whatever they have on that contract, it needs to be no more than that. Whatever they allow.
Okay.
Gina. Oop, are you there, Liz?
I went out here apparently. Gina, go ahead.
I agree that, I mean, the board of directors, we don't get paid our gas. We get paid for the gas not to exceed the cost of the airfare. So I think it should be the same for them also. You know, whichever is cheaper, gas or airfare. That's all I have.
Okay, Jan?
Well, I was looking for my contract and I can't find it at this moment. I'll see if I find it once I'm done. Airfare is cheap right now. Flying to Texas is like $250 is what I have the airfare for going down there. I've already booked it because it's so cheap. The 14 cents is not enough in gas. I believe this committee felt after COVID and the way 2020, a lot of judges were going to want to drive instead of fly. And so they wanted to make it more equitable than had been done before, was why they were doing the mileage. So with that information, I would say paying the expenses of gas would be very appropriate this year. And it is spelled out in the contract a certain way, and it does not have the plane fare in this one, I don't think, as a cap. So I'll find it. Maybe before we're done, I can share it with the group once I find it. Thank you.
All right. Jean?
Yeah, I think paying for mileage with a cap on airfare, you know, the price of airfare is for me that the reasonable way to do it, which means that we wouldn't pay the mileage. I think mileage at 14 cents is too cheap. I think 16 cents is too cheap. I would not be opposed to doing mileage at 55 cents or 56, which is the IRS rate. And again, that being said, mileage or airfare, whichever one is cheaper, which is exactly what's written for the board members. And so that's my take on it. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Judy?
One thing I would want to know is if raising the mileage rate from 14 cents to something else, is that going to affect our C3 status? Because it says nonprofit.
We're a C7. We are a C7.
We're a 7.
We're not a C3. We're
well,
a 7.
But if it just
and that's the rate that we pay directors.
Right, but my question is, will raising the mileage rate affect our status in any way? No matter what we are, does it affect our status? Because I don't want us to get tagged with that if we pay more and that's not the rate. And I agree, it's too low. I do, but we have to look out for ASCA's future also. The other thing is, by raising it, if we go to a regular business rate, like it's in that letter that it's $750 extra for every 1 cent that we raise the mileage rate. That's a hell of a lot of money that we're going to spend. And again, we're already at a losing budget. I'm not sure we can afford to do that. So I would go with mileage up into the cheapest airfare, just like we do for directors.
Okay. My feeling on it also is that we do need the cap. It should be just like we pay directors. I think that's the fairest way to do it. It hopefully gives them enough to pay for their gas, and it doesn't take ASCA to the poorhouse. So I think maybe, I don't know, Rick, maybe you can bring that to the committee and see what they think, if they think that that's something they want to do.
Sure. And we can, I mean, there's not a rush. We can present it at our next month's meeting.
Yeah. So yeah, why don't we do that and see what the committee's reaction is to that proposal, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. So the other part, there was another part to that.
Yes. The third request was to pay the expenses of the 2022 Nationals chair to attend the 2021 Nationals. And basically, they felt like the experience and be around Nationals would be beneficial to the 22 chair. So they're requesting to increase the budget to pay for her all of her expenses attending the 21 Nationals.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and go around again to get everybody's thoughts on this. Carol.
I think it's essential that that person does attend the Nationals this year. Being that they have never done one before, I have so many mixed feelings about this. Part of it is, I don't know if that was considered when they gave the job description, if that was something that the 2022 chair took on as part of their job description, and that was already covered in that. I'm not really familiar with that. But I definitely do think the person needs to be there and have a hand on the program. Part of that too, it would be I would like to see some designation of what that person's responsibilities would be if we fund this. That so what are they going to specifically be doing?
Okay. Thanks, Carol. Denise.
Carol just cut out the last part. Could she repeat that? I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Carol. Can you repeat that?
Sure. I said that one of the things, if I think that the person should be there and have a hands-on participation, but I think that the responsibilities, if we're going to pay for that expense, we being ASCA, then I think that we need to outline an expectation of what responsibilities that person will have during the 2021 Nationals. Because if it's just to come and be there, I don't think we should fund it. If it's specific responsibilities, as in you're kind of like the assistant manager or shadowing the manager and you're there on the floor every day following around with that, then I would totally think that we should pay for those expenses within some kind of a monetary limit, not just carte blanche. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Carol. Denise.
Okay, thank you, Carol. I'm sorry, my phone is bad. I would agree that with Carol on that point, that the person who would come would be there as a learning experience and seeing exactly how this whole thing runs and what their jobs would be for the next year to make it easier. I also agree that there be it would be limited funds. It's just, if you're going to pay part of their expenses to get them there or whatever. I don't know that they need to be there the entire time. So I think there should be discussion on how long they feel someone needs to be there. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thanks, Denise. Gina?
Yeah, I'll probably abstain from voting on this since I'm the liaison for 2022, but I do think, what? I said I'll probably abstain. Anyway, I think that, yeah, it would be good to maybe pay the transportation, but there does need to be some restrictions. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jan.
Yeah, I would support that, but making sure there's involvement so she's behind the scenes, seeing what's going on and learning from some of the experiences, good, bad, and indifferent. So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Jean?
Yeah. We pay other people's way to nationals, and we don't seem to have many restrictions on them. But I think I would want to know if the person from 2022 wants to stay all week. I mean, and if this is something that that the chairs, that they're all like supportive of this idea, and that they're, that this is. I don't know how to phrase it, but anyhow, that everybody's on board with this together. And so, I mean, I don't oppose it by any means, but I don't want to force somebody to do it either if that's not really what they're after. So thank you.
Thank you. Judy?
Yeah, that was my first thought also, is we need to talk to Betty first and see if this is something she's willing to do, because we can't just conscript people to, do our bidding or whatever. If she's good with it and she wants to go and is willing to participate, then I'm all for it. But first, I want to ask her, and I think we need to get her opinion on it. Thanks.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from everybody's comments is that we all have some questions about how it's going to be handled, whether the 2022 chair has already been asked that they want to be there and work on getting acquainted with all the duties. And other questions regarding, what kind of time limitations, etc., are going to be placed for reimbursement. So I think maybe what I would suggest is that we put together all those questions, and maybe Rick can forward them to the committee, and maybe we can get some answers, and then we can take it from there. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Thank you for everybody's opinions and discussion on this. I will take it back to the committee and let them know the board's wishes, and we'll let them come up with some of these answers and talk to Betty and see if that's even something she's interested in. By no means, I don't think we would expect Betty to be there if her wishes were not to. So I'll bring it back to the committee and let them follow up on it.
All right. Thank you so much, Rick. I think that was it, right?
Yes, that was the 3 items.
Well, thank you so much. So we have one more item, and that's by Gina, and it's a change in the rally judge for 2022. Gina? Gina?
Okay, there it is. Sorry. You know what? I had those. Kala, do you have the motion? I don't have it in front of me. For the rally for 2023?
Yep, the motion was to approve Pat Pierce as judge for the 2022 ASCA Rally Finals.
Or 2022, rather. So that needs a second.
I'll second. This is Jean.
Thank you. Are
All
there
right.
any comments?
So we have a motion on the floor by Jean, seconded by Jean, to approve a change in the rally finals judge for 2022 from and to approve Pat Pierce as the judge. Further discussion here? Anybody has a question, comment?
Had we already selected a judge? Is this a replacement judge?
Yes.
Why is it being replaced?
Jan withdrew.
Oh, okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, then I think I will call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Judy abstains.
All right, motion carries then. I think this was the last item for tonight. I want to thank everyone that's listening to the meeting, for caring for ASCA and listening to what's going on. And I want to thank all directors. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
This is Gina. I make a motion to adjourn.
I second the motion. This is Carol.
Okay, so we have a motion by Gina, seconded by Carol, to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.